details about the horrific cartel killings of 9 Americans, including 6 children less than 100 miles from the United States border.
Yeah, Democrats just blocked a spending bill that would have used $5 billion to build a new border wall. Joining us live to react is retired ICE Director Tom Homan. Tom, thanks for your time this morning. For those who aren't familiar with this area, put it into perspective for us. How far from the border is this? And a lot of people say, look, case in point, this is why we need the wall.
Look, it's right south of the border, and I've said many times on your show and other shows that the Mexican criminal cartels control everything on the northern border of Mexico. No criminal activity, no alien smuggling, no drug smuggling occurs without the cartels blessing, approving the plan. And like I said, during this humanitarian crisis, they were pushing big family units through one area so they can move bad people and drugs through the other area. The Mexican criminal cartels control the border on northern Mexico.
The violence in this country is basically a joke, and it gets worse and worse. If you look at the numbers here, the murders are up almost 5.5% since July. There have been 17,608 killings in Mexico since July. That's about 100 every single day. You know, Obrador, the president, doesn't really want our country's help with this. Do you think he can handle it on his own?
No, he can't, because the problem is in Mexico, let's be honest, a lot of the law enforcement in Mexico, a lot of the military are corrupt. We know that. I've known that for decades of working on the border. Yeah. So they need our help, they need our expertise, because American investigators like the FBI and Homeland Security investigations, they can dismantle these organizations by attacking their transportation infrastructure, attacking their financial infrastructure, because once you attack their money, you can dismantle this organization.
Tom, you know, a lot of people make the argument that we do have a lot of drugs, obviously, as we know, coming across our border. We have a lot of drugs coming in through ports. But why should people here be concerned about the violence that's going on there?
Because it's going to cross, there's a couple reasons. Because that violence will cross over to the United States. Look, we have a drug demand problem here, so we got to stop the demand for the narcotics and try to shut the market down. But while there's a demand in this country, drugs are coming across, and violence is always going to be part of the drug trade. But there's another something no one's talking about. As the violence in Mexico continues to increase, that's going to put at risk our border numbers, because the border it's come down by 56 to 6% now. Yeah. But once a court determines that Mexico is no longer a safe third country, all the Remain in Mexico program, we got 65,000 such Americans waiting for their hearings. That's going to end. Mexican nationals are already starting to claim asylum. So once that gets out of control, Mexico will be classified as not a safe third country, and we're going to have our border numbers skyrocket again, because we can't hold people in Mexico waiting for their hearings. Once the word gets out, you're going to see the numbers explode and come to this border.
With the nine that were just killed, we're up to 27 Americans killed in Mexico in 2019. When you see a story like the one that we just saw, or that we're seeing right now, and you see these, we see kids, little kids brutally killed. Does that, I mean, look at these pictures. Does that help people to understand maybe how serious this is? Does that swing some people that maybe thought that the president's rhetoric was too much to maybe say, well, maybe he has a point? I mean, this is right by the southern border.
You know, I hope so, but you've seen, I've testified 3 times in the last few months, and I've relayed horrific stories to Congress. Yeah. But the Democratic leadership does not want to address this border issue. They want the president to fail on his #1 campaign promise. This is about politics. I've seen terrible things in my 30 years that I'll never forget. But this latest tragedy, look, it's just senseless. There's just no way. Women and children shouldn't be murdered to begin with, but especially in the way they were done. This is why this president has offered our assistance. It's going to take United States assistance to get to the bottom of this incident. Now, I'll tell you, we don't know enough about this incident yet. There's more to this incident than that we know of right now. My 30 years, my gut feeling, there's more to this story than we know.
All right, Tom. Well, as new details continue to unfold, hopefully you'll join us again and we'll have this discussion. Continue to have it. Tom, thank you for your time.